Well, hi, friends. Well, today is Sunday, November 22nd, so I'm either late or early. I didn't do a reading last week. I was busy. And today I thought would be kind of fun to do because it's November 22nd. So it's kind of a masterful day today, right? Okay, so first card out is what Spirit would like to speak with us about, okay? All right, first card out. Oh, the lady. The lady. So it's all about, well, it would be, the feminine energy, basically. Then we also have the cross in the center. The cross in the center is kind of karmic in nature, and it is responsibilities, but it's, the things that you must do, the things maybe that you came here to do, right? Now, we also have a ring, we have a birch rod, and we have the scythe, which means that there is either an ending of a relationship or a breakthrough in the relationship. And I feel like it's not a relationship personally, or it could be, but maybe a vicious cycle that is coming to completion and something that needs to end. Okay. The tree is a very healing energy, and I know I've talked about this before. When you have the tree and the scythe, sometimes we need to remove to promote new growth. The child is also here, so that's kind of like a new beginning, the new growth, right? And I feel like some things come to an end so that other things can begin again, right? So that's kind of what this feels like anyways. But let's keep going. Next card out is the house. The house is your family, your close relationships, your close circle of people. The reason why I say that is because, when the ring was there with the whip, they both have a circular kind of a feeling to it. So that's like your close-knit circles. The lilies are there, which the lilies are, that is all of the virtuous, morals, values, virtues. It's those feelings to me, okay? Then we've got the fox. The fox, that can be that little trickster energy, but if you're talking about your career here with the lilies, that could be something that is starting to either, I feel like things are finally coming into an alignment kind of a feel to it, even though that it felt like there was some sort of a delay or a challenge. I feel like things are starting to fall into place, okay? Then I've got the bear and the dog. That's kind of like the junior senior aspect of archetypal energies. Like managerial and employee, or it could also be like a partnership, okay? And then we've got the flowers. So I feel like that's like a renewal or a growth, or, things are coming into fruition kind of a feel, okay? But I do see a little bit of mountain climbing, which means, it's going to take a little bit more effort. It might take, some creative, way to overcome obstacles. But I always feel that there is a solution to the problem. You just have to, use your wit kind of to get around it, okay? Let's see what else we have. The mice were there. The mice can kind of create a little bit of anxiety or nervous energy. So I think that the bear was there to let you know to, have strength and courage, okay? Now the next portrait out, the first card out, were the clouds. The clouds are kind of like things that haven't been figured out yet. So it kind of has that air of mystery feel to it because the book is there. And then we've got the coffin. The coffin is that period of being away, but it's also introspective. So you kind of need to go within, and then, the decisions that need to be made, give it thought, okay, before you just make a decision. But the stork is there. That stork in the clouds has that leap of faith feel to it. So kind of have faith in that you have the ability to figure things out, okay? The coffin being there, though, that's that transformational energy as well. And the crossroads are there, which is change. So that does have a transformative energy attached to it with the clouds. So kind of like, when you look up into the clouds are moving and they're changing shapes. But the stork is kind of a migratory card, but it knows its direction instinctively or intuitively. Okay. Now the tower is in the center. The tower is official. It could be a little bit of a time of the past. So maybe use some of your past experiences as maybe a guidepost to what will work versus what won't work. But it's also like a professional kind of a card too, or a higher up kind of a card, a leveling up kind of a card. And it kind of indicates possibly a new tone. So that's where we are with that. And then we've got the fish. The fish, that's your abundance. That's your day-to-day activities. It can also be in some contexts good luck. And with the clover there, I feel like that is abundant luck. And then the heart. The heart is anything that brings you joy, right? Your passions, your inspirations, your enthusiasms. And the final card is the sun. That is the most beautiful final card that we could possibly have, okay? So then our bottom left-hand corner are the stars, and the bottom right corner is the sun. So I can't help but think that that is wish fulfillment. And then we've got the tree in the upper left-hand corner. I love to see that. That's healing. It can also be your family, your roots, your, maybe even karmic family. I feel like we're kind of born into some of our predispositions, right? So that does play a role in, what we end up doing, right? It, if nothing else, it would have been like inspiration. Like my father, for example. My father, he was a carpenter, but he was a cabinet maker, and a kitchen formica top, cupboards installer. He did all of the schools that I've ever gone to here in Michigan. He installed all of the science labs and that sort of thing. Well, now my son, Jeffrey, he does countertops as well. So I have to kind of laugh. It's different. He refurbishes them. He makes them look new and, and gives it his artistic flair to them. But I have to laugh that is still kind of within the genre of what his heritage is, where his roots came from. So I'm sure he's making my father proud. Let's see. Oh, the upper left was the tree. The upper right is the ship. So that would be like, projects but a success feel to it. And it also has the ships are coming in feel too, because the sun was on top of, the final card there, and then the anchor. So the ships are coming in feeling. I do see big blessing, but spiritual protection in the center focal, and that would be, even if sometimes we're not certain, just know that we have help. Just call on your angels, spirit guides, ancestors. Call on them for help. And when you can acknowledge their presence, they love that. I know I've had lots of, clear signs, that from messages from beyond, whether it's my mom or Mike or, my grandparents. My grandmother one time, I know, helped me find her necklace. I had lost it and I just felt like mortified, because that was the one thing that meant more to me than any other gift my grandmother had ever given me. And I had lost it, and one day I just had this knowing come over me, and I reached down, and it was weeks after I knew I lost it. I just reached down into the side of the couch, and I pulled up just the heart. The chain was missing, but the heart was still there, and that's all that mattered, right? So, I couldn't tell you how ecstatic I was that I'd found that heart, but the knowingness that came over me when I finally found it, it was when I was still and quiet, and I was able to listen. So, that's part of it too. Prayer is when we're asking, right? But when we're meditating, we're actually listening. And spirit speaks very quietly, right? Our egos are very loud, but spirit speaks very quietly. So you have to, be still and pay attention. And the signs are always there, but a lot of times they get overlooked, and then later on you're like, is that what that meant? Those moments of I got it, I hear ya. Let's see, what else do I see? uh, I do see the lots of transformational energy there with the coffin and the star and the stork. That's that migratory change feel, but it's transformational in nature, and I do see forward momentum, and I do see that it's almost like with the cross and the mountain, it almost has that pilgrimagey kind of feel to it. So, maybe get back to basics feel, back in the olden days, you did what was most important, not, materialistic. It was taking care of your own. It was, or caring for your loved ones, and it was protection. It was safety. It was, providing, meals and, that sort of thing, gathering around with our loved ones. So you can't help but think that, Thanksgiving is around the corner. And what's more important is being around family. If the world were coming to an end, none of the material things that we have would matter, right? All that would matter is the love that we have with our family units and friends that become family, right? I do see where we might be going on a little bit of a journey, a trip. But there is a little bit of there's a positive resolution, which I like to see that, but there might be either a delay in that, or maybe having to. I just feel like the snake is there, so it might be a little bit of a challenge, or maybe a windy road kind of a feel to it. But we are going on a trip. And then we have some decisions to make here. So all I know is it ends up being bright and sunny. So I would love to, maybe plan a vacation, but you have to get all of the details need to be ironed out there probably. I do see the snake bite again, though. I don't like to see the snake bite. It has that a little bit of a bittersweet feeling to it, though. But when I see the snake and the scythe and the whip together, those are my three most challenging cards. But just know that it ends up being bright. So, the challenges that we have to overcome, it's what makes things more rewarding is when you've gone through the challenge, but it just doesn't feel so good while you're experiencing those challenges. And I do feel that they are emotional. So it's probably, people that have either disappointed us or difficult, a difficult past relationships. But that's what makes us stronger, right? It's all the things that we've gone through, and the love will always be there. The ones that are past loved ones, people that have passed over, they'll still be with us as we all gather, just by bringing back their memory, right? I do see, I feel like it's a windfall because it's got the clover and the whip, and it kind of comes out of thin air feeling to it. Okay, it's definitely a lucky break, a little bit of a risk taker, and a little bit of I don't know. I just feel like maybe it there's a very fine line between pain and pleasure feel to it. So I don't know if we have any gamblers out there, but sometimes when you stick your neck out, is when you it could either get injured or that's when you can win big. So it's I think it's kind of letting you know that take chances, but more calculated risks, okay? Don't set yourself up for failure. But you do have to play, you have to buy a ticket in order to win, feel, right? So you have to take chances and trust your gut instinct too. That is where I've had, my whole life. I'm like, I'll figure out a way, I've got this. But sometimes that feeling of analysis can, paralysis, right? So you still have to take action. You can't just, wait for, it to happen to you. You still have to take the action. Well, let's see. I see an offer, which that's, it's got the bear, the book, the clover, the ring, and the flowers. So I feel like it's a good offer. And I do see maybe a little bit of a second chance feel too, because I've got the coffin and the clover there. That's kind of a good feeling, right? But the very first card out was the lady. The lady is our feminine energy, right? Well, right above the lady is the gentleman. And once again, I feel like, it takes both parties. It can't just be one doing all the heavy lifting. It needs, so maybe pitch in this week, where help is needed. I do see the child there. The child is, that fresh, playful, inquisitive energy. I love to see that. So maybe play some games, make it a fun experience. I do see spirituality here though, because I've got the tree and the stars and the birds. So maybe, prayer. I know I spoke about it earlier. But, just be grateful and thankful for, all that has enriched our lives. It's our past, present, you know, give thanks to where it all began. I always say we should have a special spot to honor our ancestors, because without them, none of us would be here, right? And the cross is there, so that speaks for itself as well. And then I've got a little bit of mirroring going on with the mountain and the clouds. So I feel like, that would be like, obstacles and challenges, but it's, to reach higher heights, right? And they both speak of, being elevated and, maybe reaching for higher meaning, right? Because the tower is there as well. So, I mean, we're not just here to, you know, for the frivolous things. We're here for the meaningful things, right? Things that bring joy and abundance. And I don't know. I just feel like I'm so grateful for my family and my friends and my mentors and my grandparents and all of the people that shaped who I am. And I'm also very grateful for my Roxy, who's helped me get through a lot of struggle. Yeah, my children, I love them all. Well, folks, I hope you have a blessed Thanksgiving week. And I'm here if you ever would like to sit down in person or we can video chat. I would love to do an in-person reading for you. And until next week, you have a blessed week and take care. Bye now.